Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's ODTN use case steering team. Thanks for joining. As a first order of business, I just wanted to give a brief reminder to everybody that we are accepting ONF Connect community nominations. That is for people that you think did a very good job in ONF community this year in terms of leadership, coding, reviews, events, whatever. So feel free to nominate somebody. This is the form. Pick the nominee, pick whatever you're nominating them for, the project, an email of this guy, and then if you want to give also your email, you can do so. But yeah, feel free to nominate somebody. There will be the recognition ONF Connect in 2 tiers. Tier 1 will be after the keynote main stage. Tier 2 will be more during the tracks. So during the ODTN track, I will be personally recognizing a few people for their great contribution to ODTN during this year. So that's pretty good, I think. It's pretty interesting. So next up, I want to talk to you guys about a few things that we did this week. In the past week since we last met. So the first one is the fact that we changed a few things over in the GUI, which is this patch here. No, sorry, this one. So the idea is that we did a few renaming here and there of the Rodum GUI to be capable of accepting the power and being actually a more optical GUI, really. And it enables resizing of the power component. It fixes a few bugs in the icons, and so now the UI that you see at the UI for ODTN page, if you search ODTN-emulator here, and you take a look at the docs, and in the GUI.md, this page describes the UI. I have to update these screenshots, but if you follow these elements, you will see all this new UI with all the power and configuration. So that's pretty good with the small additions that we made. So the other change that was made during this week, and I would like Adib to talk about this, is a port command to enable the optical channel and tune the wavelength through the CLI. Adib, do you want to give us a brief overview of it?
Yes. During the last week, I implemented a command which is very similar to the add optical intent code, but the difference is that we add a flow rule to a given device, a connect point, based on a given signal. So that's the whole idea. Again, in terms of functionality, it's very similar to the add optical intent, but instead of 2 connect endpoints, we have 1 connect endpoint to add a flow rule into that. So probably we need to extend it sometime later if it's needed, but for now, this is the functionality that it supports.
No, I think it's exactly what we were looking for, because the optical intent actually tunes every device underneath the 2 endpoints that we are given. But here we just wanted to tune 1 port with a specific wavelength, and this enables us to do it. So I think that's perfect functionality. So thanks to do that for doing that, Adib. It's pretty good. So then, also thanks to Buyan, we changed the power configuration command to allow only optical ports, and that got merged also this week. So that's another good addition. And we also have documented all the stuff, like for example, Adib's work has been documented in the run ONOS.md here. You can see at the end of it how to use that that command to tune the wavelength. The UI, it's small minor modifications that didn't really change how to use it. It's just that it's better now. So having said that, I want to go over briefly the Cassini modulation driver implementation. I'm gonna go over what I did this week, and then I'll let Sterlite comment. So what I did, since I needed this for some testing that we're doing with Telefonica, is that I took this patch, I did a few modifications to it to enable it passing tests. And then on top of it, so I didn't not touch the functionality-wise this patch particularly, but I actually used it to implement two things. One is an optical modulation command, CLI like the modulation that basically gets or sets the modulation config for a specific port. It's very similar to the power configuration one, but or the CLI for the wavelength that we showed before, but this is for modulation. That goes and hand in hand with the modulation web resource that Sterlite put together. And I also added, because of this particular test, a Cassini implementation behavior that includes OCNO-specific software, an OCNO-specific, XML payload, which is here. I added this particular payload to allow the OCNOS to be configured via this proprietary model just for this test, but I'm working with the IPI guides to have the modulation included as part of OpenConfig, both with the existing version of OpenConfig, so a vendor-defined ID, but also with the extension that we are proposing, thanks to Sterlite. So I'll let Sterlite comment on their side, but any questions or thoughts on my side of the work, meaning the CLI command or the behavior for OCNOS? No? Okay, then Chita and Puneet, do you want to comment on your side of the patch? Any update that you guys have?
There's no update this week, but I think the comment which you made last time, right? We are incorporating those things.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not much update for this week, Andrea, from our side on that.
Okay. There might be a need to merge this sooner rather than later, meaning by the end of this week. So what could happen is that I merge this as is, fixing, because I fixed some of the Jenkins issues. So Jenkins now passes. There are some
Yes.
Functionality additions that need to be made. So those are somewhat needed and still very much valid points that I made. But since this works as is, what could happen is that I merge this as is at the moment. And then what happens is that I then go ahead and let you guys work on the master, adding a new patch to fix these elements. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's okay. And just want to update you, like the patch which we have loaded there, we have tested that in our lab, and it is working fine, right, from our side. So that we already tested it.
Okay, that's perfect. Yes, I didn't actually do any modification to your patch except for the, like, if you take a look at the difference between 1 and 2 is really minor stuff that to allow testing to pass. It's like I added like Java doc and like
Yeah. Understood.
copyright. This actually needs to be 2019, whatever. Yeah, and it was complaining about like some star imports. You know, this type of things that it's not functionality impacting at all on your
Yeah, these are the
patch.
minor things, I think.
Exactly. Just minor things that needed to be done to make it pass. So if I was to merge this it's okay. It can go in, and then you guys can work on it functionality wise on
Yeah.
another commit, I guess.
Actually, we guys are facing some issues in terms of IntelliSA, so we are fixing those things. So that takes a time for this week, but I think we'll fix this thing within this week. No problem.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds good. If that happens, I'll merge this, and so if I require this, I'll merge it, and then you guys can work on it the next on next batch. But I don't think it's an issue. But my points are still
Sure.
valid. So as soon as you have that IntelliJ fix ready, I think you can work on that. What I might do is that I might rename these to be, meaning that I'd leave the standard one in, and I call this dash modified or dash proposal or something in order to have them both in the repo. That's if I need to merge
Okay.
this patch. If I need to merge this patch, I'll do that, just to let you know what's going on. But I'll ping you if there is any need for that.
Yeah, sure. Just thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
No problem. So yes, please do make any comments to the patches that are still open, meaning the Cassini modulation one and my own for the CLI command. If there is anybody that wants to do some reviews, please feel free. A very good contribution that we received as of like 2 days ago, I think. I still have not reviewed this. I have looked at it briefly. I do have some comments on it in the way they have done things, but a very good start is this phase 1.0 cross connection cross connection within the transponder driver from ZTE, which enables discovery of the device, added to ONOS, enables poor statistics, and then enables the transceiver to be there, and basically enables ONOS to create that cross connection client to line side. So it's pretty good work. I know this has been thanks to the guys at ZTE and the collaboration with Telefonica. So thanks Arturo for pushing them. At a quick glance, there's some duplicated code in here that I would really like to avoid. But I think that is a very good start, and having it here enables us to take a look at it and also show it in the ONF Connect demo. So I think that's pretty good. I'd like everybody and encourage everybody to take a look at this and put any comments that you guys have on here. That's pretty good, I think, to have everybody take a peek at what's going on in the patch. So thanks for doing that whenever you have the time. I think this also fixes an issue that they were seeing with the timeout not being changed if they changed it. So I think that's also a pretty good bug fix for the platform itself. Any questions? No. Arturo, do you have any comments on this?
No, in fact, I was not aware that they were uploading this patch, so I'm also happy that this occurred. And nothing. Do you have any? I mean, I will take a look into the code itself, and if I have any comment, I will also comment on the code. If you have any need of communication with the city people, I am also open for that.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I think so. The first thing that really is to look out, if you take a look at the patch, for anybody that takes a look at the patch, there's a lot of duplicated code. So I would have to check the possibility and discuss the possibility with ZTE of putting the minor changes that they made back into the classes that they copied over. and use those as part of the patch, and make those changes as part of the patch instead of just copying the class over and having to check it in as a full patch, as a full class. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'll probably ask them to do. But it's a very good start. I particularly like the patch that we're expanding the pool of transponders, so that's very good. I think it's a very good start. Okay, I know TAPI 2.2 has been released to this week. I think it was Friday last week. So that's also a very good milestone for the TAPI team. And also 2.1.2 has been released. So, for example, the Adva guys can use that as a base with the few bug fixes that they did for the implementation of their open line system controller. And anybody who's actually looking at doing the open line system controller can take a look at the 2.1.2 as the base for that. Okay, then let me go ahead and check the status of the ONF Connect demo. Any update from the lab in Telefonica, the setup of the lab in Telefonica? How is that going, Arturo? Do you know? If you're trying to speak, you're muted, Arturo. No? Okay. Then Pavel, Rafal, from the Adva side, do you guys have any update on what's the status of your implementation of the TAPI open line system in the Telefonica lab?
Yes, sure. So I have already upgraded the controller and adapted to the TAPI 2.1.2.
Okay.
And we had something. I know that the client controller was able to work with it. So as for today, I'm not struggling with any issues, and the control is ready here.
Okay. So I would need then to check with Arturo and the guys at Telefonica if I can access, and I can start deploying ONOS in one machine and start testing against this device.
Okay, good. But I recommended to ask the Arturo first because I'm not sure if he's not taking any actions on this.
Sure, definitely. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Then we can maybe also set up a testing call together, because I also need to figure out exactly the state of their Cassini device to make sure that we can test with what they have there in the Telefonica lab as per Cassini. In terms of the equipment itself, I need to make sure that we can use it for this type of testing, and they have up-to-date software on it. That's also something that I need to make sure. At the same time, do you guys have any update on the Adva transponder? I know that Jacob has been back from vacation, and I sent him a cheat sheet of a few things that he can use for testing the transponders. But do you guys have any update?
So it's not the first-hand information, but I was in the loop, so I could see that someone from us who is not ready yet, but the
Okay. Then I'll maybe ping him and see what's his status. Then obviously the ZTE ones, we can definitely program him to do line side to client side, and vice versa, but we cannot program them with the optical modulation nor wavelength nor power, because they don't have the implemented behavior for now. But if they support plain OpenConfig, we could ask them to test with the existing drivers that we have, and that should enable them to just include those drivers. I might have to speak with Arturo to have a call with the ZTE guys. Yeah, that's an action point that I have to set up on my side. Yeah, I got the reply that Nokia is still discussing about the possibility of including their equipment in the Telefonica lab. So that's still unclear if we're going to use two Nokia equipment for this demo or not. Arturo, do you have any update on that side? Okay. I think Arturo is muted. But okay. Point being, we'll see when that is done. Okay. I don't think that there is any update on the GNPI side. I think there's some vacation happening with Kevin from Juniper and other sides, so that's not there. I think the upcoming work that is going to happen is that we're going to increment and work more in the integration of the different behaviors with the different OpenConfig devices. There's going to be some testing that's going to go and happen as soon as we get all the equipment ready in the Telefonica lab with ONOS. So that has to be done before the conference in September, and then. Yeah, we would still need to continue and harden the platform. I know we will work on a multi-instance. We need to finalize the multi-instance ONOS. That's on the roadmap. Because unfortunately, I have been sidetracked with supporting testing of ODTN plus Cassini in some trials that we are having. So that's why I've not worked on that as much. Okay. You guys have any thoughts, any comments on this? Oh, I forgot to ask to the Sterlite guys, is there any update on the OSNR work?
No, Andrea, we don't have any update on OSNR as of now.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Andrea, I had a question. I think I was not audible earlier. So you said that you'll be merging your that patch that we delivered for modulation, and so when can we expect that? Because we also have to make some changes. So once you merge it, then we'll send another patch for it.
Okay, so I mean, I could merge it right away. It's marked as beta, so it's not that important. Obviously, it still requires changes. So what we can do is that allow me a couple of days, maybe
Okay.
end of the week. By the end of the
Okay.
week, I think you can expect this to be merged. What you can still continue work on it while it's here, meaning that you would only have to switch to another patch when this gets merged. If you upload something before it gets merged, it goes into this patch. Do you see my point?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you were saying that if we like amend something to it, then that would also be merged.
And something to it before I merge it, it's definitely going to be included. Just please do make sure to get the changes I made.
Yes. So that is like what I feel is that once you merge it, then we will add our changes so that your changes are definitely there, right?
Okay, then yes, as soon as I can, I'll merge it. I think allow me a few days of testing for the other behavior because I need to test it with the IP Infusion guys. But as soon as it is possible, I'll go ahead and merge it. But it's gonna be
Okay.
by the end of the week.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so just as is there any other point that you guys want to discuss? Okay. So as a matter of fact, I'm probably gonna be on personal time off the next 2 weeks. So is there anybody that wants to hold the meeting next week and the week after? If I have internet connectivity, I might be able to hold it, but please be on the lookout for the email. If I send the email about the meeting, I will hold it. If I don't send it, I will not. So please be aware to check out the meeting email that goes out. I'll make sure to cancel it on the calendar if it doesn't happen. Please continue the amazing work that you guys have been doing in the next 2 weeks. And I think as soon as we get back, we will have the setup ready in the Telefonica lab for testing for the ONF Connect demo. And we're going to have more information on the ZTE drivers. Arturo, I'll make sure to put the comments on the ZTE drivers before I leave for time off. So the ZTE guys can check them out in the following weeks, and we can have progress on that. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining. I'll update you via email, and we can continue offline discussion. Thanks everybody. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.